Street 0. Euridica, the Falcon. Part 1. King Louis and Euridica, the Falcon. The old king, Louis, and his son, the gloved with his young wife, Princess Esther, arrived to the Euridica's tomb in the cave. Princess Esther and the young heir went to the spring from where they expiated Melissia, the snake woman's arrival. She was the heir's aunt from Luxembourg. The air in the cavern was thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient minerals. Louis the gloved and his Atha, the old king, stood by the edge of the subterranean stream, his leather-clad hands trembling slightly as he watched the water churn. Beside him, Princess Esther remained silent, her eyes fixed on the dark ripples. Suddenly, a rhythmic splashing echoed through the limestone halls. Emerging from the depths of the underground currents, a creature of myth slid onto the slick rocks. Half woman, half serpent, her scales shimmered with a dull metallic luster in the dim light. She coiled her long tail, her golden eyes settling on the weary king. "You have traveled far, Louis," she hissed, her voice like wind through dry leaves. "But the path ahead requires more than just endurance." The old King Louis looked down at his gloved hands, his mind drifting back to the sun-drenched marble of Constantinople. He painfully recalled his arrival in Byzantium, years ago, when he had sought the counsel of Empress Pyrrhusca. Even then, she had retreated from the world of politics, living as a somma abbess. He had begged her for a miracle, for a way to undo the knots of fate, but her eyes had held only the cold light of divine duty. The serpent woman, Melissia, watched his face with an indifferent gaze. "Pyrrhusca's prayers cannot reach this deep," she said, cutting through his memories. "If you wish to succeed, you must descend further. To the very banks of the Styx. And what then?" Princess Esther asked, her voice steady despite the shadows. "You must find Euridica," Melissia replied. "But she is no longer the woman of Orpheo's songs. She lives now as a falcon, a predator of the gloom. To bring her back, you must pass through the territory of the Titans." King Louis felt a chill that had nothing to do with the cave's temperature. The Titans, beings of primordial power, their faces perpetually masked in thick, white clay, guarded the threshold to the lower depths. They did not speak, they only judged. "They will never let us pass," the old King Louis whispered. He fell to his knees, his voice cracking as he began to pray, not to the saints of Byzantium, but to a different power. "Orpheo, master of the lyre, if your ghost still wanders these halls, let your song rise. Help us soften the hearts of the clay-faced ones." The cavern remained silent for a heartbeat. Then, from the distant reaches of the tunnels, a faint, melodic vibration began to hum through the stone. It wasn't quite music, but a resonance that felt like hope. Melissia pointed her clawed finger toward the darkest opening in the rock. "Go now. The song is your only shield. Find the falcon, or stay in the white silence forever."